Alright, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video. I just woke up and we have Mary's skills, so let's see how good she is. Let me see her burst animation, right? Because it's a new one, and I think I've seen like a picture of it. It looked pretty good from the picture. So let's see. Okay. Neon. She's a burst one. Oh my. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Alright. Burst one supporter water sniper rifle. Okay. 20-second cooldown, that's nice. Seaside Sunshine. Activates when entering a full burst, affects all allies. Okay, it's one of these like once, twice, or thirds. Okay. Recovers. So the first time you use this, and the effects will repeat after you use it a certain amount of times. So the first time you use it, recovery of the caster's final max HP will recover HP for every 1 second for 5 seconds. So first time you use it, it's only 1.05. Second time you use it is 3.69, and then third time you use it is 6.86. which isn't bad, because by the time, I think how it works is by the time you get to the third one, it's also going to include the 1% and the 3%, right? Because it does say previous effects triggered repeatedly as well, right? So if I get to the second one, it's going to also include the first one. If I get to the third one, it's going to include the second and I believe the first one as well. If not, then just the second one. Third is that. Second skill activates when using burst skills, affects water coated allies. Oh, this is pretty good. Damage of strong element increases by 20.85% for 3 seconds. Okay. Damage of strong for 3 seconds. Yikes. Damage of strong element increases for 13% for 5 seconds, or 13.88% for 5 seconds. And then damage of strong element increases by 8.36% for 10 seconds. And I guess this all stacks as well when you get to the third one. Quite nice. Affects all water code allies. All water code allies increase their attack by 13%. 23.23 for 3 seconds. Not that good. Like the percentage number is the problem with me for this character. Affects all allies. Recovers 27.87% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds. That's not bad. There's a problem with this character for me, bro, and it's these seconds. They're all short. 5 seconds is never all that good. I mean, for the healing, it's fine. The 5 seconds for healing is quite good. But for the strong element, is quite, like, 3 times is not bad, I guess, because you're going to be able to get 3 burst skills, like in most content, to be honest. Besides like PvP, so it's good there. And then the attack is like only for water coated allies, and it's just worse. It's like, yeah, she's a healer, but 23.23 for 3 seconds at level 10 is quite bad. For 3 seconds is quite bad, especially since Litter is the first one who does it for like 80, not 80, like 60 something percent for 5 seconds, right? So it's like triple this attack buff and longer, essentially. I don't know if they have neon skills. I don't think they do. Let me just double check. They do not. Here's like the event. So no free character this time around. I just noticed we're not getting a free SR this time around. We usually do. But there's none. We're just getting a multi. Would I say this is a good character? Like, I won't say she's bad. She's definitely better than Rosanna. Definitely like gonna be a nice healer, which is her job. The strong element is quite good, but again, it's only for water coated allies, and it's like, this is the problem I have with these code things, because it's like, it would be 10 times better if it just worked for everybody, right? Water, I know Dorothy's there. Helm is there. It's not a great, oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's quite, yeah. Wow, never mind. That's not that good. The water, like, selection is quite ass. I'm not gonna lie. And it's the problem with these skills, right, especially the second skill, is she has to use her burst skill, right? The first part is fine because it's when you enter a full burst. The second skill is when she has to use her burst skill. So she specifically has to use her burst skill 3 times. That means if we go back to regular, you would have to use her burst skill over characters like Dorothy, over characters like Litter, over characters like Pepper, right? Over characters like any of these characters that you use as your main burst one, you would have to use her burst skill over that, which is not something you'd want to do, at least for me personally. I'm not using this burst skill over Dorothy's or Litter's for me, because I could just put a healer on the team, right? Now she could also just be on the team to heal, right? Because it's when you enter a full burst, right? But this second part is only going to work when she uses her burst skill. And with the competition, it's just, I don't know if you're really going to use her over those other characters. Now, in terms of it only affects the water coded allies, the only, like, if I'm looking here, I would say there's only like 3-4 good DPS water code allies. Not even DPS. Probably in terms of DPS, it's just Dorothy, right? I mean, Brit is okay for DPS, but probably won't use her, right? But it's really Dorothy. Helm is going to be a support, Privet is a support, and then Viper, I guess, is a DPS as well. So there's not many options here because this is a tank. You're a healer. You're a supporter. You do some damage, but nobody uses Neve. You're a supporter, you're a defender, you're a supporter, you're a defender. Like, yeah, you're a defender. Basically, like, supporter, giving up the defense, taunts, whatever, the shields. But yeah, this is not good enough. This is, I mean, it's a good kit, but the problem is, again, water code allies, right? Because now it's limited to these characters, and water code has to be the, like, if we look at all these codes, the electric code has Isabel, Haran, Maiden, Quincy, Scarlet. Like, they have some characters. Fire has who? Modernia, Nihilister, Power, Alice, Drake, right? Iron has Snow White, Soline, Maxwell, Laplace, and then Win has the Guilty. For main DPS, Noir, right? Yeah, no, water is definitely the sorriest one too, bro. She could have went to any other class. Water is so bad. Wow, water has to be the worst one in terms of DPS. They only have Dorothy, really. Like, if you want to count Viper, sure, but wow. It's a good kit, but my problem is the water code. And not to mention, the second skill, you have to use her burst skill specifically, right? If it was like when you enter a full burst, all water code allies get it, it would be a completely different story. Because then I could use my burst 1. She could just be a healer on the team, and I can always use it my Dorothy, for example. But because she has to use her burst skill to get this strong damage element for no seconds, like 3 seconds, come on, 5 seconds, thankfully it stacks, right? I believe it does stack, thankfully, because it does say previous effect triggers repeatedly, right? So once it get to the twice one, the first one is gonna apply too, so that'll become 33%. And I believe when I get to the third one, it should count the 1 and 2, right? Definitely let me know if that's how that part works. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure when I use it the third time, it's supposed to be the second and the first one all included. So that would be pretty nice after 3 burst skills, but it would only go to water coded enemies, and it's like, I don't see that being that useful for characters who don't really do damage besides Dorothy, Brit, and Viper at best. Like those, if we're counting these characters, I don't think you're using anybody else here, if we're being honest. And Neve is a DPS, a good DPS too, but nobody uses her. Burst skill is okay because it only affects water coded allies. Right, honestly, if you're something for this character, her heals are going to be quite useful, quite good actually, especially since it's final max HP, right? It's going to be quite good. So Wait, final max HP. It would. I don't know why I said final. It doesn't really change anything. But yeah, if you want just a pretty good healer, she's gonna be a good healer for sure when you enter that full burst. But Blanc basically does the exact same thing, if not literally just better, I would say. Like, that first skill is just what Blanc basically has been doing the whole game, right? So when you enter a constantly heals, it's basically this when a full burst ends, and when you're in a full burst, it's like this, right? That's exactly the same thing, right? It's the exact same thing, but Blanc's, it goes up to a total of 6%. Hers can go all the way up to, okay, so hers is going to be nice too. But hers will be more. When you use it the third time, even if it doesn't count the first one, it would count the second one. And that would be 9, and that would be 10%. So if you need a healer, she's going to be a good healer because she's just, her healing is basically just better than Blanc's in terms of when you're in a full burst. But when the full burst ends, you're going to get that extra healing from Blanc. So you're getting a heal from Blanc while you're in the full burst, and then you're getting it after the full burst. For her, you're only getting it in the full burst. So there's that. But if you want more survivability, pretty good healer. So definitely let me know what you think. There's a lot of things to consider when using this girl. I'll have a should you summon, and I'll have a should you summon before you summon video, whatever, and I'll talk about like why you would want to or not want this character. But overall, kit's pretty good. It's just very restrictive, right? Not to like only water code allies, which isn't like all that of a problem, but the fact that I have to use her burst skill is a problem because in water, right, in the water code department, only Dorothy, like this is the only character you're probably going to use from the water code department if you want to be like, yes, Privity is good too, but she's not a DPS, right? I mean, she's an attacker, but she barely does damage like that, right? So I don't know. I mean, strong damage is still strong damage, so it'll be useful for Privity, I guess. Privity, let me counter. It'll be good for Privity as well. But when am I using her over Dorothy? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. But it's your boy Zxous. Let me know what you think, and I'm out later. Peace.